everyone, welcome to Chessington World of Adventures, and welcome also to Sealion Bay. My name's Donna, and down the other end of the pool is my colleague Gemma, and this is our family of Californian sea lions. Now this group you see in front of you, they make up one of Britain's, and maybe even Europe's best colonies. They've done very well at breeding over the last few years, we're very proud of them. Now what we're going to do for you this afternoon is a few behaviours with these guys, but we're going to start off by introducing you to each and every one. First of all, before I pass you down to Gemma to start off the introductions, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this little lady on the jetty there. Her name's Winnie. She's feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment. If she stays in the position that she's in, we're going to have to be very careful with some of the behaviours, but hopefully she'll pop into the water. She'll probably not come and eat anything today, but please don't worry about her. She'll hopefully come up a little bit later on. That's just to let you know about her. I'm going to pass you back down to Gemma now. She's going to start the introductions down her end.
Right, thank you very much, Donna. Now the first thing I'm going to introduce you to again this end of the pool is this little cheeky lady over here to my right. Now this is Ursa, and Ursa is by far our cheekiest, most mischievous sea lion. Incredibly lazy as well at the moment, aren't you? Can't really bother to do anything. You'll notice that Ursa is rather a shapely young girl, but we are hoping that she's going to be pregnant for us this year. However, we can't tell really until she actually gives birth. At the moment we're just assuming that she's a little bit fat because she normally spends most of her life being a little bit round anyway. Ursa's kind of the baby out here. She's actually only 13 years old, and in her time she's had 4 pups, which isn't that many, but it's about average for her age, and we are hoping she's going to have many more babies in the future, but of course she couldn't do it without the help of this big chap here. Now this here is Boris. Now Boris weighs a colossal 330 kilos, which is around 50 stone, and in his 24 years of living, he's managed to father 37 pups. Something he's really proud of. Big round of pride, Boris. There's a good boy. And a big round of applause, I think, is deserved for that. Well done, Boris. He's done incredibly well. Now, because Boris is 24 years old, this also means that he's the equivalent of an 80-year-old human person. So Boris's eyesight isn't quite what it used to be. He's got selective hearing. He knows when there's fish around, but if we're asking him to do anything, he usually just ignores us. So you'll have to bear with myself and Boris, because we just have to work at his pace. But of course he's done incredibly well as a father, and even though he is quite an old chap, he hasn't given up yet. We're hoping he's going to go on to father many more pups in the future. Now, is that all we've got down this end? No, we've got Stinky over here. You can see giving us a little wave, trying to get noticed. Now Stinky has an unusual name because she had a very unusual upbringing. When she was a pup, she actually got abandoned by her mum, which is very strange because sea lions usually make one of the best mothers amongst the animal kingdom. When she was abandoned, of course she ended up getting hand-reared by the keepers here at the time. And when hand-rearing a sea lion pup, it's very messy because you have to give them something similar to a fish milkshake, and like any other baby, a lot of it comes straight back up at you again, so it's very stinky business, hence the name. And although she had a really bad role model, herself, she's made an excellent mother, haven't you, Sinks? Yes. In 18 years, she's had 9 pups, and she is by far one of our best mums out here. We're hoping she's going to give a few tips to young Ursa here, and also some of the other girls. But that's the introductions over at my end of the pool, so I'm going to pass you back over to Donna.
Get your words out this afternoon, Joe. Okay, I'm 1 sea lion short, oh my word, 2 sea lions short this afternoon. Hopefully Winnie's going to come back though, because he's just been a little bit naughty at the moment. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, Winnie on the jetty there, she is a little bit under the weather, so she's not going to be joining us this afternoon. But I'll tell you a few things about her anyway. Now, she was brought to us and came to us from London Zoo with her mum, Kate. So she's been here actually most of her life now. She's 17 this year, so she's one of our older sea lions. She's a pretty good mum as well, like all of our other ladies. In fact, one of her babies is still here. A few years ago, Winnie and Boris got together, made a baby, and his name is Harley. And at the moment, he's out in the back, waiting in the wings. Don't worry about him though, because he's out there at the moment, because he's a bit of a mischievous little baby sea lion. I say baby, he acts like one, but he is actually 8 years old this year. But he's very naughty when he comes out here when the adults are working. He tends to bite them on the bum and chase them around the pool, so that's the reason he's at the back. There's nothing wrong with him, trust me, apart from being very naughty. Next to the ladies that we have is this lady on the top rock here. Are you going to give everyone a wave, Pebbles? Oh my word. Do take a good look at that wave, everybody, because unfortunately that is all that Pebbles does. She's quite possibly the laziest sea lion that we have. Yeah, she really doesn't do an awful lot, but she more than makes up for it for being the best mum. Pebbles is a baby-making machine. She likes to do all the energetic leaps and jumps. And what am I on about? I'm looking at Winnie and telling you her bit. Anyway, as I was saying with her, she's a baby-making machine. She's had lots of babies in her time here at Chessington. Her current total stands at 10 babies, and we're hoping for lots more from her in the future. Now, last but not least, we have this fella here, this naughty little sea lion. His name is Murphy. Proper bundle of trouble, this one. He came to us from Dublin Zoo. And he came to us with just one task in mind. Ooh, gave me wet, one of them, I think. But he came to us because he's going to take over from Boris eventually as our breeding male. However, Murphy really doesn't pose too much of a threat to Boris at the minute, because all he seems to do is chase the ladies around the pool, because he is a pretty fella. But when he eventually catches up with them, he hasn't really got a clue what to do with them, bless him. Well, hopefully though, Boris will give him a few tips, take him to one side and point him in the right direction. And hopefully Murphy will be just as good as Boris at making babies. Now that's everybody down my end. I'm going to pass you back down to Gemma now.
And we often get asked loads of questions here at Sealion Bay, but the main one's probably what's the difference between seals and sea lions and what are these? Now these are most definitely California sea lions, but it is a little bit tricky because they do look very similar, but there are quite a few differences. The main one is probably how they move on land. Now seals actually pull themselves along using their front flippers, dragging their back ends along the floor, looking a bit like a giant caterpillar. They're not very graceful, they're very unagile, and they're also very clumsy. Sea lions have a completely different way of moving though, and for this I'll pass you back over to Donna.
Yeah, sea lions are a lot better out of the water. They can in fact walk, a bit like a cat or a dog would, and the way that it works is they rotate their back flippers underneath themselves. As I say, to walk a bit like any other animal would. And this makes them very fast out on land. They could probably outrun myself, or Gemma, or indeed anybody else in our audience here today, although you're being a bit lazy and dragging your bottom. There we go. So that's how sea lions move around on land. If you were to see a seal and a sea lion in the water together though, they would look really similar. All you really see is a head poking out of the water. But if you have a look on our sea lions, you'll notice that they've got really tiny little ears on the either side of their heads. Probably best on chubby old Ursa over there. She's got the biggest ears out of anybody. We call her Wayne Rooney of the sea lion world. But seals don't have these external ears at all. They only have a hole on the other side of their heads for the entrance to their ears. I'm going to hand you back over to Gemma. She's going to tell us a little bit about the predators of the sea lions.
Now there are really only two predators off the coast of California, big enough and tough enough to look at Boris and see him as a potential meal. One of these is the killer whale. Now Boris does a fantastic impression of a killer whale. He's going to demonstrate this for us now. Boris, killer whale please. Yes. Big round of applause for Boris. He thinks he's done fantastically. Well done Boris. You get the idea. But you've probably seen documentaries where seals and sea lions are on the beach and you see a killer whale come up out of the water, actually beach themselves to steal the pups off of the land. I'm going to pass you back over to Donna now, who probably not the most spectacular star because she's visiting her sea lions, going to tell you about the underwater predator.
Yeah, I'm missing my star today. Winnie would ordinarily show you a way that they've adapted to avoiding shark attacks, because great white sharks do actually like to eat sea lions. And it's by something known as porpoising. Now, porpoising is a series of high-speed jumps in and out of the water. The sea lions tend to dart around, jumping in and out of the water, changing direction, and the sharks can't really keep up, so it confuses them, and eventually they are able to escape and hopefully live to see another day. Now back down to Jim.
And there are a couple of ways in which a sea lion is well adapted for life in the ocean. I don't want you, Stinky, and you should go do that. Stinky is very eager to show you, but I don't want Stinky to show you. I want the little lardy one to show instead. Oh, Stinky. She's raring to go at every opportunity. Just ignore Stinky. Ursa's going to demonstrate her bullet streamline shape first of all. Oh, look, you're Stinky then, you scared me. Come on then. Show them your bullet streamline shape. And you might have to use your imagination a bit for this. Right, you get the idea. And Ursa weighs well over possibly 120 kilos right now, but with the strength of her front flippers, she can support her pigback bottom up, and hopefully not fall in the water. One more time. Flicking water in my eyes. Come on, Ursa. I think it's because the audience are cheering her up. Come on. One more time. Good girl. That's better. Held it for a split second. So you get the idea. That's just a couple of ways in which a sea lion is well adapted for life in the ocean. Another one of these is their excellent eyesight. For this I'll pass you back to Donna.
Now, off the coast of California, where this type of sea lion would live, it can be quite dark and murky at times in the water. So the sea lions do have to have excellent eyesight, and they certainly do. And Murphy's going to demonstrate this for us. He's going to follow this target that I have over here with this green ball. And he's hopefully going to jump into the water for you, jump up and touch it. Now, if he does it, please give him a big round of applause. There we go. I think I cheated a little bit there. But that shows you how accurate their eyesight is. But sea lions can't see in the same way that we can. They can actually only see in shades of black, white and grey. Now I'm going to hand you back down to Gemma at the end of the show.
Right, at the end of the show we're supposed to be having a bit of fun with our sea lions. Now, for this we're going to have a competition. And it's a splashing competition. And seeing as I've got 3 sea lions to do, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. But what we're going to do... Oh! Let's start off, not with you, Stinky, I know you're keen to go. We're going to start off down at Donna's end. I think she's going to be a bit restricted, but over to you, Donna.
I'm not sure I'm going to win this one, that's so unfair. You've got more sea lions than me. Okay, we'll give it our best shot. I think Murphy's going to be good at this one, because he is quite a hefty little man. So come with me, Murphy, and we'll see if we can get these lovely people in front of the jetty here a little bit wet. Okay, come on, give it your best shot. Big belly flop. Oh! I'm not sure whether you're supposed to get me wet, you're supposed to get them lot wet. Okay, that was a good attempt. Okay. How about you?
I think what we're going to do is get Boris to judge this, and seeing that somebody is very eager to get into the show, I think I'm going to take Stinky. So come on, Stink. So you stay there. Now, let's see what she's going to do. Now, I think Stinky might need a cheer for this, because she's been raring to go for the whole show. She really wants to do some jumping. So, audience, if I could hear a shout for Stinky, please. That's not very loud, is it, Stinky? Right. Well done! Yay! I thought it was pretty good. Now, we're going to get Boris to judge this, I think, because seeing that we've only got 2 sea lions who are joining in the splashing competition, so what we'll have to do is ask Boris. Boris, what do you think of Murphy's splash?
Hey, that's cheating!
That was pretty pathetic, actually. And what do you think, Boris? What do you think of Stinky's splash? Oh, I haven't even asked him yet. Come on in. Yes, I think Stinky's the winner.
I think some cheating's going on.
There is some cheating going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Stinky, for your effort. You've won the competition today. Now, that's about all the time we've got down here at Sealion Bay. If anyone has any questions after the show, Donna and myself will be